Hello, welcome back to a new video. Happy New Year! Happy 2025. This video is going to be like my goals, my bingo card. I think that's a very new trend. I want to say it's a new trend because I've never seen it interpreted in this way before, but we're going to do a 2025 bingo card. So some things mostly social media based that I want to achieve this year or experience this year, etc., and what I wish for this year. Basically, if you're watching this, just write down, even if it's like 3 goals or 3 things you want to achieve or 3 things you want to try and stick by. We all know that goals are not always going to be achieved, and reevaluate them at the end of the year. I feel like it's a fun little thing to do. Obviously some people don't do it because they feel like they have to keep to it, but anyway, just write some down and it just helps you feel a little bit more like you're in a, like you've got direction sort of thing. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. Go abroad. Oh, I need to go abroad. If you don't know, I've never been abroad. I only got my passport in, well, now last year. So I've got my anniversary in April, which we are planning to go to Paris.
Mum, WhatsApp video.
Got interrupted by my mum. I'm sorry if there's any background noise as well. I live in a house of 7 people. It's never quiet. Ever, 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 ever. But anyway, as I was saying, I want to travel. We're going to Paris. We might be going to Italy. And then we're going on, I mean, this isn't abroad, but we're going to go on a little holiday in August as well. I don't know if I could actually go travelling. Like, if we give a good example, like KCJ did, all around like Thailand, Bali, Australia. I don't know if I'm built for that. I don't know if I'm built for that life. But starting to go abroad, you know, we're getting somewhere. Collab with a brand. I have never collab with a brand on here or on my TikTok or on my Instagram, and that is something I really want to achieve in the new year at some point this year. And what the struggle is with me is I never want to come across as fake or unauthentic. I film for the purpose of filming, and I love filming myself, and I love building a community and feeling that sense of achievement, in that sense that I'm entertaining people or I'm creating a little community and a safe space for people. Whereas like I sit and I watch my people on YouTube, that I feel like it brings me out of whatever I'm going through, and it widens my perspective on people. And I feel like the more people you meet and the more people you watch, the wiser you are. A collab is something that I also want to make authentic and real, and not something that I'm just promoting for the sake of the money, something that I believe in, and or something I've just bought and I think it's great. But I don't want to put my time and effort with YouTube into a brand that I don't think is worth it. Reach 1k on here, and I know that probably seems a bit like I'm not reaching high enough because I've already got 800, but my growth has been very, very, very slow over the last couple months, and I just want to be realistic with myself, because I feel like if I aim too high, I am going to get bit in the bum and just bummed out that I'm not reaching the goals that I wanted to at the beginning of the year. But I do think we can get a bit over 1k. I do think so. And if anything, this year I just want consistent growth. No matter the volume of it, I just want it to be a bit more consistent. 10k on TikTok. Now come on, that's ambitious, isn't it? I've just reached 1.7. So basically I started doing lives a month and a half ago, and it has boosted my growth on there so much, and I want to keep doing that. And lives is a way that I can show my personality and show who I am as a person and give advice, and people can see a bit more of like the real me, and then I can still create videos on the side of that. And it's been really fun so far, and I feel like I'm really building a community of people that are quite loyal and quite fun. It's more entertaining, it's a more light-hearted side to social media. Move out. We'll see if that happens this year, but hopefully. Less caffeine, and obviously what comes with less caffeine, more water. I just want to be a little bit more healthier. Everyone loves interrupting me today. Everyone is doing it. Okay, continuing. Just being a little bit more conscious of what goes in my body, and I know that I'm still going to be eating what I want, and I'm still going to be eating pretty unhealthy, knowing me, but just being a bit more conscious to not overeat like over consume certain stuff like Fizzy. Start building my dream wardrobe, and I know that one's a bit more materialistic and maybe a bit more like, oh god, but I find myself hating most of my wardrobe, so I want to change that, and I want to try buy maybe 1 item, 2 items at least of clothing per month, so that I'm constantly having new shit, because for some reason I just have a wardrobe of clothes that I don't really wear. I just have it because it's like, well, I don't have anything else. I don't want to wear literally like the same 5 tops on repeat, but hopefully this year I can work towards having a wardrobe that makes me feel more comfortable, more myself, and yeah, just more comfortable really. Acceptance, and I've had to do a lot of accepting this year, not this year, last year, and probably throughout 2023 as well, and just continuing that journey of like accepting myself, accepting other people, accepting circumstances, just accepting that like what will be will be. And another one I have here is trusting timing, because I feel like it's so important to trust time, and sometimes obviously the only thing you can do is wait, and some things are out of your control and it is scary, but trusting that the right things will happen at the right time for you is funny, because you've got your whole life panned out in front of you, but you have no idea what that is until you get to it. And I feel like you just have to have a little bit more trust in that you will be okay. You know, you will be okay, things will happen, the right things will come to you, and the right things, like the wrong things that are in your life right now, will make their way out of your life. Journal. Obviously this is my journal. This is the start of my 2025 journal. I'm going to try and write in here at least once a week, and I know that's quite, the bar is so low for that, but I just want to be a bit more positive with my journal, and a bit more manifesting and inspirational, and rather than being really heavy. I feel like my journal for 2024 was so heavy, so depressing, so emotional. It was literally just a weight. You could feel a weight when I read my journal. Like I wrote so much. I basically wrote everything that was going on in my life and how I felt, and maybe like this year I really want to try and reverse that, so that there's less of the heavy stuff and more motivation, determination, resilience, direction. And yeah, I want to be a bit more positive. Save. I've already been saving. I save a little bit each month, but ultimately getting my savings and revamping them so that they're a lot higher than they are right now by the end of next year, because I've only started saving last year. So I'm going to get on that bandwagon this year and try saving. It's so confusing when it's only the 2nd of January that I don't know what day it is, and I keep forgetting that it's the next year. And 2024 was last year, so that's really insane. Consistency, obviously this heavily applies to social media. I just want to be really consistent. I want to be really there and present with my social media this year, especially with my lives. I find that such a fun, interactive way to engage with people. Not even just followers, like a lot of them are new people that are just discovering me, and they discover my YouTube through that. It's really fun, but obviously I want to do a lot more content, as in like this type of content, video content, longer form content, all of that. I want to start using my camera for my TikTok as well. I feel like that needs to happen a little bit more, because we want to be a bit more profesh. But what I've been doing is I've been exporting it in 4K. TikTok can't handle 4K. And we'll have better quality videos in 2025. Self-care. And I've really tried doing this recently. Like I've got my hyaluronic acids, I've got my cleansers, I've got my moisturizers. I've got very, very, very basic, you know, it's skincare, because I'm not really familiar with what skincare is, like what all the different acids are and the different formulas and the different chemicals that you put on your face. I'm really not familiar with them, and the only thing that like chemically that I really like is hyaluronic acid at the moment. And then I've been using a cleanser, so like a cleansing balm. Cleansing balms are really fun. I realised how bad micellar water is for your skin after I started using something that actually isn't really harsh on your skin. Believe it or not, it really does make a difference. Do something new. Like my boyfriend keeps like banging on in my head, going like, we need to go out, we need to try new food, we need to do me. This is the year to do it, I guess. This is the year to try new food, do a new experience, get out of the country, do my social media, all of the above. Figure out who I am, and we're going to end it off with this. A little bit of an identity crisis. I really struggle, I think, with validating who I am as a person. Who am I as a person? Because I feel like I've changed so much since the summer. Unbelievably had a massive mental shift. So I'm really trying to figure out, who am I as a person? What do I want? What are my goals? What do I want to show people of what I am? Like, do I want to be a more funny, like humorous side, or do I want to stay more serious, or do I try and find that balance? Because I have so many things that I've gotten in my childhood that I think have really boosted my maturity and boosted my sense of self. And I've fought for so many years, I've fought this idea of being a victim, and this year is the first year where all year I'm gonna feel a bit more free and a bit more like I am my own person, because I feel like I've hung on to this idea of like, I'm a victim, he made me feel this way, he's made me into this like broken little victim, and I've just realised I'm not that. And I guess that's quite freeing, because I can always do a much detailed video on that, rather than like trying to get it all and trying to get into it right now. But I've really realised that I'm not the person that I've tried to make myself out to be, to try and validate myself. I've tried over and over and over and over again, screaming out for help, trying to validate how I feel, being this victim, saying I need help, when really the best thing that has come out of all of this is I've just let time take its thing, and I've sat through every emotion I've ever had. I've sat through it. I've not distracted myself. I've put on music to deliberately get all of those tears out, all of that emotion out, and that's so much better than hiding it. And this year, I think, is the first year where, as I said, I'm fully going to be able to figure out who I am as a person rather than who I am as a victim. And I think that's quite powerful. So that's why I've really tried to find this balance of like, do I really need to talk about my trauma? Do I need to share that advice? Which I do. I do feel like sharing advice from how to recover and how to become your own person after going through something that almost takes away your identity is really hard to come back from. And I do want to share my advice on that, but I obviously want to have a bigger platform and more exposure to be able to reach more people to help. And now that I feel like I'm Sienna rather than a victim, I feel like now's a better time to start delving into what I want to share with people and what I want people to learn from me and my experiences as a child, and what I've learned coming out of that childhood and dealing with it all throughout my adolescence years. It's a lot, but happy 2025. I hope everyone is having a good new year. January is the year for renewing, revamping, reorganising everything, reorganising your life. So yeah, I wish the best for everyone in this new year. And I appreciate every single little bit of support, obviously, from the last nearly year and a half. I will see you all next week.